What if the ocean never forgot its queen? What if the wolves of the mountains carried secrets in their blood? And what if love was born in the middle of a war that was never truly over? Welcome to a world where power is inherited in fangs and tides, where Korean mafia kings rule the human underworld by day, and command ancient forces beneath the sea by night. This is the story of two dominant hybrid brothers, heirs to a forbidden love between a wolf queen and a sea sovereign. Feared, untouchable, bound by blood and instinct, until the night they meet her. A woman abandoned by the ocean, raised on land, unaware that royal merblood flows through her veins. What begins as attraction becomes obsession. What begins as protection becomes possession. And what begins as political tension ignites a supernatural war that threatens to awaken something older than kingdoms themselves. This is not just romance. It is dominance. It is betrayal. It is sacrifice. It is legacy. If you love dark fantasy, powerful alpha male leads, slow burn tension that turns dangerously intense, supernatural politics, and epic ocean battles, then you are in the right place. On this channel, we dive deep into immersive fantasy worlds, emotional character arcs, and stories that feel cinematic, like you're watching a movie in your mind. So before we begin, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and join this growing dynasty of fantasy lovers. Because once you enter the world of Tide and Fang, there is no turning back. Now, let the ocean rise. The ocean was not always silent. Long before she was born, before she cried beneath human skies, before she forgot the taste of salt in her blood, the sea burned. Yes, burned. Not with fire, but with rage. Beneath the surface of the East Sea, where sunlight fractures into liquid gold and pressure crushes the weak, there once stood an empire carved from coral and obsidian stone. The kingdom of Thalris, ruled by the sovereign of tides, feared by all ocean clans, respected by land-bound predators. Because the ocean does not negotiate, it consumes. And at its helm was a king who did not bow. The Sea King and the Wolf Queen. His name was Archeon, High Sovereign of the Eastern Abyss. A merman of ancient blood, scales forged in silver blue, eyes like storm-dark depths, voice capable of bending currents. He could summon whirlpools with a whisper. He could command tides with a glance. But he made one fatal mistake. He fell in love. On land, in the snow-covered peaks beyond Seoul's modern skyline, ruled another empire. The Moonfang Pack. Pureblood wolves. Ruthless. Territorial. Their queen was Seraphina Moonfang. Alpha-born. Crimson-eyed. Hair black as ink against winter. She did not kneel. She did not soften. And she had sworn never to love. Until the sea met the mountain. Their first encounter. It was not romantic. It was political. A summit. Neutral ground along a cliff where waves shattered violently below. Archeon rose from the sea in full regality, water spiraling around his torso like living silk. Seraphina stood at the edge in leather and fur, wind snapping around her. They locked eyes. And something ancient shifted. Not lust. Not yet. Recognition. Predator recognizing predator. Power recognizing equal. You poison our rivers, she accused. You slaughter my coastal clans, he returned. Their tension was immediate. Magnetic. Deadly. But negotiations continued. 4 months. Meetings turned longer. Words turned quieter. Glances lingered. Until one storm-heavy night, when politics dissolved beneath lightning and confession. He touched her face first. A careful, almost reverent brush of knuckles against her jaw. She did not flinch. She grabbed his collar instead. Pulled him closer. Teeth nearly grazing his throat. If you betray me, she whispered, breath warm against his skin, I will rip your heart from your chest. His lips curved. If you command it, I would offer it willingly. The sea surged. The wind howled. And the war began long before either kingdom realized it. They met in secret. Cliffside caves. Midnight forests. Beneath waterfalls where no spies could scent them. She liked the way he held her, not fragile, not submissive. Possessive. Firm hands at her waist. Palm at the back of her neck. His touch carried pressure like the sea itself. He liked that she bit his shoulder when he teased her. Liked that she pushed him against stone walls. Liked that she refused to yield. Their love was not gentle. It was territorial. When he kissed her, it was slow and consuming, mouth claiming, breath mingling, water gathering around their bodies as if blessing the union. When she pinned him beneath her wolf strength, nails grazing his chest, eyes glowing red, he smiled. Because he had never desired something he could not dominate. And she was the only one who matched him. But love between apex rulers is never private. And power breeds suspicion. Whispers began first. A mer prince claimed the wolves were contaminating sacred waters. A wolf elder accused sea clans of drowning scouts. Neither accusation was entirely false. But neither was fully true. Someone was provoking both sides. Sabotaging trade routes. Massacring border patrols. Leaving staged evidence. And while Archeon and Seraphina met in secret, war councils ignited in their absence. Then came the night of blood. A wolf village near the coast was annihilated. Bodies found submerged. Throats torn. Claws mimicked with blade marks. The Moonfang pack roared for vengeance. Seraphina demanded answers from Archeon. He swore innocence. But the Ocean Council had already declared retaliation. He could not stop it. The first tidal wave hit at dawn. And wolves burned ships in response. The war of tide and fang had begun. War does not pause for love. But love leaves consequences. Seraphina discovered she was with child during the second month of battle. Twins. Hybrid heartbeats. Stronger than either bloodline alone. She told Archeon beneath the cliffs where they first kissed. For the first time in centuries. The Sea King looked afraid. They will hunt them, he said. They will fear what they cannot control. She placed his hand over her abdomen. Then we will make them untouchable. He kissed her that night like he was memorizing her. Deep. Lingering. One hand cradling the back of her neck. The other splayed across her lower back. A silent promise pressed into her mouth. If war took him, he would leave heirs strong enough to rule both worlds. The twins were born during a thunderstorm. The ocean roared violently. Wolves howled across mountains. The moment they drew breath, water burst from nearby rivers. Windows shattered. The earth trembled. They had silver blue eyes like their father. But when they cried, small fangs glinted. Half merman. Half wolf. Entirely unprecedented. They were named. J-Minute, the firstborn. Calm. Watching. Unnaturally composed even as an infant. Jihoon, 2 years younger. Restless. Fierce. Eyes sharp with instinct. The war intensified when rumors spread. The Ocean Council demanded the children be surrendered. The wolf elders demanded proof of dominance. Neither parent agreed. So they withdrew. From kingdoms. From councils. From politics. They disappeared into the human world. Into Seoul's growing underworld. And built something new. The twins grew in a world of steel and skyscrapers. Their father taught them control. How to summon water from thin air. How to drown a man without leaving evidence. How to make their voice irresistible. Their mother taught them dominance. How to break bones. How to scent fear. How to command obedience with silence. By 25, J-Minute controlled Seoul's elite financial crime rings. By 23, Ji-hoon ran enforcement ruthless, precise. They were untouchable. And entirely aware of their power. They did not chase women. Women gravitated toward them. But no scent ever stirred instinct. No heartbeat ever made their wolves restless. Until the night the bar smelled like salt. They noticed her immediately. Not because she was loud, but because she was steady. Dark skin glowing under amber light. Black eyes observant, cautious. She moved like someone accustomed to surviving alone. Ji-hoon leaned forward first. His nostrils flared subtly. Salt. Ocean salt. J-Minute's fingers tightened around his glass. Impossible. She approached their table. Professional. Unaware. And when Ji-hoon's fingers brushed hers deliberately, a spark. Not electricity. Recognition. She pulled back instantly. I don't like being touched. Ji-hoon's eyes darkened with amusement. You will. J-Minute shot him a look. But his own gaze was equally intense. Predatory. Focused. She should have walked away. Instead, she felt something heavy settle in her chest. Fear. And something hotter beneath it. They returned every night. Not loud about it. Not obvious. Just present. Watching. Ji-hoon would stand behind her too closely. Breath ghosting near her ear. Why are you afraid of the ocean? He'd murmur. She'd stiffen. How do you know that? He would smile. I can smell it. J-Minute was quieter. More dangerous. He would grip her chin gently when she deflected. Not painful. Just firm enough to command attention. Look at me when you speak. And she would. Heart racing. Pulse betraying her. She hated how her body responded. Hated how warmth pooled low in her stomach when J-Minute's thumb brushed her lower lip. Hated how Ji-hoon's palm at her waist made her knees weaken. They were domineering. Possessive. And absolutely certain she belonged to them. She told herself she was afraid. But fear does not make you ache for someone's touch. The truth surfaced violently. An assassination attempt. A rival supernatural faction who had tracked the hybrids. Guns. Silver blades. Explosions in the bar. She screamed when water burst through windows. But it did not harm her. It wrapped around her. Shielded her. Responded to her pulse. J-Minute stood before her, eyes glowing ocean blue, water spiraling around his fists. Ji-hoon's claws extended fully, golden eyes blazing. She stared at them in horror. You're monsters. Ji-hoon stepped close. So close she felt his chest against hers. Yes. His hand slid to her waist, gripping firmly. And you are ours. J-Minute cupped her face. Forehead resting against hers. Voice low. You were never human. And when she panicked, water rose behind her. Answering her fear. Answering her blood. Memories flickered. War. Flames beneath sea. A mother's tears. She collapsed into their arms. And neither brother let go. The war that began with their parents was not finished. It had only been waiting. And now the lost Merer had surfaced. The sea would demand her. The wolves would test her. And the Han brothers. They would burn kingdoms before surrendering what they had claimed. Because dominance runs in blood. And love, in their world, is not soft. It is possession. It is protection. It is war. She woke to the sound of waves. Not crashing. Breathing. The Han estate overlooked the sea, floor-to-ceiling glass revealing a horizon that felt too close, too aware. She sat up slowly. Silk sheets. A silk nightgown she did not remember changing into. Her pulse jumped. The door opened. J-Minute entered first. Impeccable. Composed. Dark shirt rolled at the sleeves. Dark shirt rolled at the sleeves. Ji-hoon followed behind him, hands in pockets, gaze openly devouring. You fainted, Jae-minute said calmly. You shifted, Ji-hoon corrected with a smirk. She swallowed. Shifted into what? Neither answered immediately. Instead, Jae-minute walked to the window and pressed his palm against the glass. Outside, the ocean rose. Not violently. Obediently. It curled upward in a slow spiral. Waiting. Her breath hitched. Ji-hoon stepped closer to her bed. Too close. You felt it, didn't you? He murmured. When the water wrapped around you. She did. It hadn't felt like drowning. It felt like returning. They did not overwhelm her. They cornered her carefully, strategically. Jae-minute sat at the edge of the bed, not touching her yet. His presence alone felt like a weight. You are not human, he said. Her jaw tightened. I am. Ji-hoon leaned forward, bracing one knee on the mattress. Then call the water. Silence stretched. Her heart pounded. She did not want to. She did not believe. But something inside her, something restless, answered. The air shifted. The water in the distant ocean began to stir. And then, a thin stream of liquid slipped through the open balcony door. It hovered mid-air, spinning, waiting for her command. Her breath fractured. No, she whispered. Jae-minute's hand finally reached for her. Not gently. Firm fingers curling around her wrist. Control it. The tone wasn't harsh, but it was absolute. Dominant. Her eyes snapped to his, and something in her obeyed. The water stilled, then fell. She gasped. Ji-hoon exhaled slowly. There she is. They trained her at night. Always at night. The ocean responded stronger under moonlight. Ji-hoon handled her physically, correcting her stance, gripping her hips to adjust balance, standing behind her as she summoned currents. Feel it in your spine, he murmured near her ear. Not in your hands. His chest would press against her back. Heat through thin fabric. His breath warm against her neck. It wasn't accidental. It was deliberate. Testing her control. Testing his. Jae-minute trained her mind. He stood before her in the shallow private cove beneath the estate. Water mirrors emotion, he said. Lose control and it betrays you. She glared. You don't lose control. His eyes darkened. You have no idea. Then he stepped closer. Too close. Water rising around their legs. If you fear us, he said quietly, you will never master this. Her chin lifted. I don't fear you. Liar. The word brushed her lips as his thumb traced just beneath her lower lip. Her pulse spiked. The water around them began to swirl violently. Ji-hoon laughed from the rocks above. She definitely doesn't fear us. It happened during a full moon. Her control slipped. A surge of memory crashed into her mind. A woman screaming. Flames underwater. A crown sinking into darkness. The ocean roared violently around the estate. Glass trembled. She screamed, and the sea answered with fury. Jae-minute caught her first. Arms wrapping tightly around her waist from behind. Breathe. She struggled against him. I saw her. Ji-hoon knelt before her, gripping her jaw firmly, forcing her to focus. Look at me. His voice dropped lower. Commanding. Predatory. She did. And the ocean calmed. Because she trusted them. That realization terrified her more than the power. The supernatural world had noticed her awakening. Messages began arriving. Sea Clan envoys demanding audience. Wolf Pack elders requesting proof of lineage. Threats disguised as diplomacy. Jae-minute crushed the first envoy's throat for speaking to her directly. Ji-hoon left a rival alpha unconscious at the estate gates. They were not subtle. They were territorial. She confronted them that night. You can't just kill everyone who talks to me. Ji-hoon stalked closer. And you think we won't? Her breath caught. Jae-minute approached slower, more dangerous. He stopped inches away. You are not a bargaining chip. His hand slid to her waist. Firm. Claiming. You are ours. Heat flared in her chest. Stop saying that. Ji-hoon's fingers hooked beneath her chin. Then stop reacting to it. Her body betrayed her. Because every time they said it, something inside her settled. Political chaos erupted. The Ocean Council declared her existence a threat to balance. A rival sea prince announced intent to court her for alliance. Wolf factions demanded she choose pack loyalty. She felt pulled apart. Used. Angry. She stormed into Jae-minut's office. I am not territory. He rose slowly from behind his desk. The room felt smaller instantly. No, he agreed. You are power. She shoved him. Hard. He didn't budge. Instead, he caught her wrists mid-push. Pinned them gently but firmly against the wall behind her. Not painful, but immovable. Her breath shook. You don't control me. His face lowered slowly, until his lips hovered just beside hers. I don't want to control you. A pause. I want you to choose me. Her resistance cracked. Ji-hoon entered quietly, watched the scene. His eyes darkened, not with jealousy, with hunger. He stepped behind her, one hand sliding around her waist, the other bracing against the wall above her shoulder, caging her between them. You feel it too, Ji-hoon murmured against her ear. Her heartbeat thundered. She did. It wasn't fear. It wasn't obligation. It was pull. Magnetic. Primal. She turned her head slightly, and kissed Jae-minute first. Slow. Deliberate. Claiming. Ji-hoon exhaled sharply behind her. When she turned to him, the kiss was different. Hotter. Less controlled. His fingers tightened at her waist instinctively. And for a moment, the world outside ceased to exist. The rival sea prince attacked during a council summit. An assassination attempt disguised as negotiation. Explosions underwater. Blades flashing in moonlit waves. She fought beside the brothers, not behind them. Water rose at her command now. Precise. Sharp. Terrifying. Jae-minute moved like a storm incarnate. Ji-hoon like a hunting wolf unleashed. When the rival prince lunged toward her, she froze for half a second. And Jae-minute lost control. The ocean swallowed the attacker whole. When silence returned, Jae-minute stood chest heaving, eyes glowing. He grabbed her shoulders roughly. Do not hesitate. His voice trembled, not with anger, with fear. Ji-hoon stepped closer, thumb brushing a stray strand of hair from her face. We don't survive losing you. Something shifted then. Not dominance, not protection, vulnerability. And that was far more intimate. She stood between sea and wolf factions days later, both waiting, both demanding allegiance. She looked at the ocean, then at the mountain packs gathered beyond, then at the two men beside her. She stepped forward alone, water rising at her back, wind stirring at her sides. I am not an alliance, she declared. I am the bridge. The sea stilled. The wolves lowered their heads. Because she did not belong to one world. She commanded both. And when she returned to the estate that night, Jae-minute knelt first. Not in submission. In acknowledgement. Ji-hoon followed. You are our queen, Jae-minute said quietly. Her throat tightened. And you are my wolves, she replied. Ji-hoon smirked softly. Careful. We bite. She smiled. I know. And this time, when she kissed them, It wasn't confusion. It was decision. The political chaos had quieted, but not ended. There were whispers of an ancient sea entity stirring. If either of you turned, the wolf pack restructured. No more elders ruling through tradition. She stood as bridge between species. Her mother reclaimed the sea throne, but not alone. She named her daughter co-sovereign. The Han brothers stood behind her during the declaration. Not kneeling, not towering. Beside her, equal pillars. But something new stirred inside her. Not power, life. Months later, the ocean was calm, suspiciously calm. She stood waist-deep in water, beneath a full moon. Jae-minute on her right, Ji-hoon on her left, both alert, both softer than they had ever been. Her hand rested on her abdomen. 2 heartbeats echoed beneath her palm. Twins. Hybrid. Stronger even than the previous generation. Labor began in the ocean. Not with fear. With roaring waves. The sea rose in protection. Her mother stood at a distance, guarding the perimeter. Jae-minute held her firmly from behind, steady, grounding. Ji-hoon knelt before her, eyes intense, unwavering. "You're not alone," Jae-minute whispered against her temple. "Never," Ji-hoon added. The ocean glowed. And when the first cry pierced the night, the wolves howled across the mountains. The second followed moments later. 2 suns. Silver blue eyes flickering with hints of gold. Small fangs barely visible. Water coiling around them like blessing. The next generation. Not born into war, but into unity. She held them against her chest as waves lapped gently around their bodies. Jae-minute brushed his thumb over one tiny cheek. Ji-hoon exhaled in quiet disbelief. "No one will ever touch them," Ji-hoon murmured. Jae-minute gaze met hers. "Or you." She smiled faintly. Because this time, the ocean was not waiting to consume. It was waiting to protect. And beneath the moonlight, a new dynasty began. If you enjoyed the story, remember to like and subscribe for more. If you want to know what happened to the children and what force was rising from the ocean along with who was going to be the mate for the 2 boys, comment part 2 for the continuation of the story. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more fantasy stories. Let's take a few minutes to unwind and let our imagination run wild. As always, your support means a lot to me. See you in the next video.